The centers of excellence in our Army are epicenters for training the best soldiers in the world. In this next story, we'll see what happens when we train reconnaissance scouts and pilots together. I went out to this training exercise to see just how the pilots and scouts united their efforts.
Reconnaissance is about gathering intelligence and reporting as much information as possible back to the commander, so he can make an educated decision on the move forward.
I want to add in garrison size, vehicles, and type.
In theater, this is done using different recon elements, from ground platoons to aviation support. These two elements recently trained together on Fort Benning in real-life scenarios.
We came to Fort Benning today to support the Army Reconnaissance course in their training of students for reconnaissance tasks, and hopefully to validate a concept where we can integrate student training with flight training and ground training.
Students and instructors from the Tomahawk's 1st Battalion 14th Aviation Regiment out of Fort Rucker and the Aviation Center of Excellence participated in a collaboration between the 14th Aviation Regiment and the 316th Cavalry Brigade's Army Reconnaissance course to give both student reconnaissance leaders and student pilots a real-life experience.
Outlaw 19, I need immediate suppression on enemy grid 06428374.
It's important because when we get out to the field, when we head downrange, both elements talk to each other quite a bit. OH-58D is used extensively to support the ground troops. It's important for us to get flight students trained, expose them to actually talking to people on the ground, the people they're actually going to support downrange.
This collaboration bore fruit when the OH-58s landed on Fort Benning's Babbitt Landing Zone, where they met up and received orders from the ARC students.
Heading at 321. It's a major road intersection, and what we're trying to do is size and width of the roadway, type of surface, and the purpose is to determine the trafficability for tracked vehicles.
After receiving the current enemy situation and their task and purpose, the Kiowas took off to conduct aerial reconnaissance in support of the platoons conducting overt reconnaissance on the ground. Briefing the pilots and issuing orders while calling for fire and conducting reconnaissance in conjunction with an air asset is a great training experience for these future reconnaissance leaders.
I feel it's a major advantage in this ARC course for the junior officers to be able to work with real live aviation. It's something that you're not going to obtain in the classroom, something that you only usually obtain during deployments overseas. So the fact that we're able to do this in a training environment here at Fort Benning is a major asset.
It'll definitely help that my first time working with aircraft isn't when real bullets are flying downrange.
This collaboration comes as part of a proof of principle effort the Centers of Excellence are trying to maintain through coordinated and collaborated combined arms training on different assets.
Doing it systematically the way we're talking about doing it is going to make us all better and make us a better Army in the long run. And that's really what we're after, is how do we get after this from a process for business rules and governance to ensure that we are all moving in the same direction and in the right direction to make our Army as good as it can be.
This joint effort not only offered these students better training, but a brighter, more competent future for the Army as a whole.